So I was informed that Very Dark Man brought down the video he made concerning Ghanaians, of which I made a video in stating that I was really disappointed in Very Dark Man on grounds that I held him to a very high esteem. To the aspect that what he said about life appealed to me, to understanding that this guy is very different. Prior that, I had made a video in stating emphatically, using Very Dark Man as a reference, that you cannot fight for Nigerians and think you fight for the good things. You can't fight for Nigerian masses and think you're fighting for good things. You cannot. The moment you fight for Nigerian masses, it doesn't matter against who, against authority, against colonial master, understand that automatically you're fighting right things. You're fighting the good things. You're fighting upright things. You're establishing a war or rumble against that which is prestigious, upright, honorable, integritous. Just understand it that way. But a great number of people truly never understood me. So let me come at this. I'm not shocked in knowing that Very Dark Man eventually pulled down that video because he made a lot of mess. However, I still tell a lot of people, this simply does not mean Very Dark Man's heart is on the wrong side. This simply does not mean his heart is on the wrong side or at the wrong side. I still respect Very Dark Man's, mentality. But like I stated before, Very Dark Man's weakness, in fact his downfall or his weakness, I'm not praying for anybody's downfall, but let me put it in a way that sounds mild and at the same time could communicate exactly what I mean. Very Dark Man's challenges in what he's doing would always come from he's trying to fight for Nigerians. You see a great number of videos that he's been making sense of, but the moment he tried to fight for Nigerians, it's in fact in his crave to fight for Nigerians that he made a mess of himself in saying what he said against Ghanaians. See, let me tell you, you cannot fight for Nigerians and come out clean. You cannot. You can't fight for Nigerians and come out clean. Equity will never be on your side. He that comes to equity must come with a clean. You can't fight for them. That's why Nigerians cannot fight for themselves, because their hands are not clean. That's why they can't move to their politicians and say, we demand that you people become really accountable to whatsoever. Their hands are not clean. That's why they cannot get to the authority, men in authorities and tell them, because their hands are not clean. Their hands are not clean. See, when your hand is clean, there is nothing your oppressor can have on you. In fact, nobody can oppress you. Truthfully, because it's owed to your entanglements and your tangle with an evil man that resorts to oppression. That is a video I'll make some other time. Because the problem is Nigerians don't know how little things, one thing leads to another. One thing leads to another. Everything happening right now, when you break it down, you would understand how these things start leading to another. And then, in any way you want to break it down, in any way you want to emphasize it, the fault still lies on the part of Nigerians as masses. I'm telling you the truth. There are no excuses. I've always stated, I used to say this, and a number of people were like, what the heck are you saying? Are you trying to tell me that the government is not to be blamed? When I started saying this thing, a great number of people hadn't even started saying it. Today, Zanu is saying it. A greater number of people are saying it. A greater number of Nigerians are saying it. A greater number of people in Africa are saying it. When I even spoke in saying that there's nothing like racism, and a lot of people were like, do you really know? Do you really know what you're saying? Do you really? And they felt like I was a reverse racist. I had this inferiority complex. I was always, standing for the white man. A number of people are beginning to say this same thing. They called me Uncle Roku. They called me Uncle Roku in Boondocks. I laughed. I don't understand how people are unable to see these things, where these things are glaringly clear to me. What happened to Very Dark Man now as to why he pulled down that video in shame, knowing what, in fact, I want to applaud Very Dark Man, knowing that he had a level of integrity. It tells you this guy's heart is at the right place. He was able to pull down that video in knowing that what he said there was misconstrued, that what he said there is wrong, totally wrong. But the guy was moved owing to his passion to speak for Nigerians, owing to his passion to fight for Nigerians, owing to his passion to become. See, let me tell you something. Anything you're doing and Nigerians are applauding you, know you're doing the wrong thing. I say, if you're doing something and Nigerians are funding your accounts, you're doing the wrong thing. If you're doing something and Nigerians are clapping for you, you're doing the wrong thing. Whether male or female, understand you're doing the wrong thing. I said it. Ace said it. That's why you can't see Nigerians come to my wall and applaud me. For any reason, they cannot do that. They cannot. It's very clear. It's very, very clear. All right. So, well, let's go on.